Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. Right now you're watching our video review of the Lenovo IdeaTab Lynx. It's available right now. You can pick it up for $550 and it's basically an affordable Windows 8 tablet. If you're on a budget, you might want to take a look at this guy. It features an 11.6-inch display, an Intel Atom processor, so let's find out how it performs. Unlike the ThinkPad Tablet 2 that we checked out not too long ago, the Lynx is a little bit more bland and boring with its design. It is lightweight, we appreciate that. It's also fairly streamlined, but its construction is a little bit on the cheap side. It has a plastic casing, and even though it seems like it has a rigid pattern in the back, it actually comes off a little bit slippery, and there's just a lot of hollowness with the tablet, so you don't get that concrete feeling of it being quite sturdy. In line to its budget-friendly nature, the tablet's sporting a physical start button below its screen as opposed to a touch-sensitive one. Also, with that in mind, the tablet's sporting only one camera. It's a front-facing 2-megapixel camera which has the ability to shoot 1080p videos. There's no rear camera with this one whatsoever. Taking a look around the trim of the tablet, we do find also physical buttons. Dedicated power button, you have a lock orientation switch, and also the volume controls. Unfortunately, they're flush to the surface, so they're a little bit indistinct to the touch. And finally, along the bottom edge of the tablet, you just have the micro USB port for charging and data connectivity. Surrounding it on both sides are these notches, which are used for the optional keyboard dock accessory, which is priced at $130. And basically what you get is a full-size keyboard with that, 2 USB ports, and also extended battery life. Flip it around to its back, there's nothing really else to see. Just have the plastic casing, and right there in the middle, you have just the giant Lenovo branding. The IdeaTab Lynx features an 11.6-inch IPS LCD panel with a resolution of 1366 by 768, which produces a low pixel density of 135 pixels per inch. Now that's pretty much typical of any budget-oriented tablet out there, so it's not much of a problem when you're using the web browser in landscape. We're able to make out most of the details, but when we switch over to portrait though, it tends to squish it up so it becomes a little bit more garbled looking, so it lacks the sharpness that our eyes really want. Beyond that, when it comes to the color reproduction with the panel, it's more on the neutral side. It's never overpowering, but we do see some bleeding around the edges of the tablet. It's most noticeable if you're in a dark room, and it doesn't hurt too to also shield this away from the sun. It's still viewable in outdoor conditions, but overall, just like the design tablet, the display is not really polarizing. It's still more on the bland side. So the Lenovo IdeaTab Lynx is a full-blown Windows 8 tablet, so you get support for legacy software in the desktop mode, so that's something that some people will appreciate. But beyond that, there's nothing really different about it. The home screen here, or the start screen, is comprised of the same live tiles we've seen before. Very dynamic. The cool thing that some people will also appreciate is the fact that there isn't that many bloatware pre-installed with the tablet. It's pretty much a stock experience. The only additions that you find is stuff like the Evernote Touch application. You have also the Norton Studio app too. Beyond that, it's pretty much bare bones. Under the hood, the Lynx is actually running the same internals found with the Lenovo ThinkPad Tablet 2. Specifically, it's a dual-core 1.8 GHz Intel Atom Z2760 processor with 2 GB of RAM and relying on the Intel integrated HD SGX 545 GPU. Now, for most of the less intensive tasks, such as navigating across the home screen here, opening up applications, it's pretty quick in its movement, so we really like that aspect to it. But when it comes to other things like heavy multitasking, if you're going to use the split view a lot, you can already see some of the sluggishness of its performance, and it's also very evident with watching 1080p videos. Considering we're given the stock experience, there's nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to the core organizer apps with the tablet. You have all the same things you find on any other Windows 8 tablet. As far as the messaging experience, it's pretty much typical. You have a spacious size keyboard just because you have an ample amount of real estate. It's very responsive, and we do like the autocorrect feature, so that's great. There's just a host of different options in terms of inputting text. It sure doesn't have the beefiest specs, but when it comes to the web browsing experience on the Lynx, it's more than sufficient. It loads up complex pages with no problems at all. And top of other navigational controls like pinch gestures, kinetic scrolling, they're all exhibited with this really nice buttery movement, so the experience is more than gratifying. Not surprisingly, the music player is a very familiar one. It's the usual Windows 8 music player like any other tablet out there. The presentation relies on Windows 8's modern UI, so you have that going for it. As far as the audio quality with its 2 speakers, we gotta say it's rather disappointing just because even at the loudest volume setting, it does sound rather dinky with its overall quality. It just lacks the strong output that we really want, and at times it also distorts. Out of the box, it's wonderful that the tablet has support for a wide array of different codecs like XVID, DivX, H.264, and even MPEG-4, but unfortunately, it's very taxing when it comes to 1080p video. As you can tell here, the performance is extremely choppy and slow, so anything to 1080p videos tends to put a lot of pressure on the tablet's performance, but 720p videos and less usually turn out to be a lot better. Don't expect much out of the quality from the front-facing 2-megapixel camera. It's good enough for video chat, but when it comes to self-portraits, they tend to come out extremely grainy, so you miss out on fine details. Indeed, it's far from a powerhouse, but if there's one staple with Atom-based tablets, Windows 8 tablets, it has to be that they're very power efficient, and the same applies here with the Lenovo IdeaTab Lynx. We're able to get at least a solid 1 day of normal usage from a full battery charge, but if you're a power user, you'll probably want to still charge it nightly just to have a good capacity in the morning. Seriously, folks, if savings is your main priority, you'll get plenty of that here with the Lenovo IdeaTab Lynx. There's a lot to like about it, but at the same time, you'll want to take a look at some of the other options out there. Now, this is priced at $550, and overall, the design's rather bland, and of course, the same thing applies to its display. When it comes to the feature set, it might be lacking compared to some other Atom-based tablets out there. You only get one front-facing camera, no rear camera, and you don't have a full-size USB 2.0 port. You got to use the included adapter cable just to get that. But again, you're going to get the savings at $550. Some will definitely appreciate that. And you can still get the convertible aspect by picking up the optional keyboard dock for $130. You can get the physical keyboard, of course, a better battery life, and those USB 2.0 ports. So if you want to learn more about the Lenovo IdeaTab Lynx, guys, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.